going more.
Yeah. So your experience with her, like you said a couple of minutes ago, the takeaway is if you at first don't succeed, try again. Because
Yes.
I had a not as your experience, but it wasn't a good fit with the first therapist that I went to, and I kind of gave up on it because I was like, okay, well, this isn't for me, and I didn't try again for a very long time. It was a long time, and I'm pretty sure I needed it a lot, sooner than that. But you did end up finding this awesome grief therapist, and you mentioned a couple of things that she has touched on with you. There was actually two different things that really stuck out that I think that our listeners could benefit from hearing. What your therapist told you, if you could then kind of pass that on to us. The first one was about how sometimes we try and just control our grief.
Yeah, so I had mentioned to you that I'm in a leadership role, so I'm a little bit of a control freak. I like to be in control of everything. I'm extremely goal oriented. I've always done everything with goals, whether it be personal or professional. It's always been around goals. And the first 4 or 5 times I was there, it was all about, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I've accomplished this, I've done this. And she said, look, you're extremely high functioning. She said, but at what point will you start to trust me? And let's get down to what's really happening here. And it surprised me. I thought I was trusted. I was being so open, but all I was doing was trying to figure out a way to set a goal around grief. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to say, okay, well, like, how long do I have to come here till I feel better?
Right.
How many times do I have to be here? Let's make a chart. That's me. Like, let's set me some parameters and some goals. And she's so kind. She said, listen, there's no goals here. There's no achievements. There's no sticker or badge that you'll get at the end. This is all a process. And until you start to realize that this is a process and start to be mindful, which is something she says all the time, of what you're feeling, you can't move forward. And so it's not about being better, because I would come in and I'd say, I feel better. And she would say, you're not sick. What do you mean? And I feel sick. I feel like, and I think it's just a shift on how your brain works. Just because you're high functioning and that's what people see, or that's what you want them to see, because most of the time that's what I want people to see, that I'm high functioning. But that doesn't mean that I'm not crying at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. or even when I'm talking to you one-on-one about what really happened. Perception is not my reality, but perception is everybody else's reality.
Yeah.
So she taught me that about goals around grief. And she also,
I love, you're not sick.
You're not sick.
It's not about getting better.
Right.
Yeah.
That is key. You're not sick.
You're not
and
sick. Yeah.
and you're not crazy, and you will overcome. Your strength will be channeled in different ways. The other thing I think you're talking about is the analogy with the waves, I think, that I told you.
Yeah.
And I live by that, because aside from the fact that I am, early 50s, maybe mood swings are part of the age, I'm not sure, but I was never a mood swing type of person. And I literally, what I've experienced over the past year is that I can be sad, happy, laughing, comical. I could feel 10 different emotions within a minute's time. And then I can just stop crying for no reason. A trigger set me off. And one week I when I had gone to see, at that point we were in person, I said, I don't get it. I feel okay, and then I'm not okay. And I can't even put my finger on what happened. And she says, well, it's just like when you're at the beach or you're standing in where the waves break. And you're standing there and the wave comes and it kind of like jolts you. You don't fall down, but you get jolted and you're like, oh, okay, I wasn't ready for that. And then it happens again a few minutes later, and now it jolts you a little harder. Probably doesn't knock you down, but you're like, wow, I should have expected that. It just happened, but it didn't expect it. And now the next one comes and it literally knocks you on your butt.
Mm-hmm.
You learn from that. And now when you get up, you move. You don't stand in the same spot. So it's those waves. So you're making adjustments to deal with the grieving moment that you just had. And you might not even realize it's grief. It might be, I can make decisions all day long. And I said this to you, I can make decisions all day long on a business level, and I shut my computer down and it's time to do personal things, and I stand in front of the washing machine and I look at it and I say, what am I supposed to do? It's the craziest thing to me. And then I have a meltdown that I've got all this stuff on my plate and I was fine 10 minutes before. So,
yes.
So it's every time I get like that, I think, okay, shift and move. Shift and move.
Yep.
Shift and move. The laundry soap's out to get you, but shift and move. You have to do something.
I love it. It's so true.